Yeah!
Hey everybody, I'm Jason, and this is the 14th episode chronicling the resurrection of this 1987 Honda XL600 basket case. Today I'm going to clean up and install the main wiring harness and connect all the various pieces that are necessary to make this bike run. There's lots to see here, so let's get to it. So this is the wiring harness that came off the bike, and I have to say that it looks pretty good. There's no signs of it being modified, nothing is cut off, all the electrical plugs are in good shape, and most of the components are still connected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by taking it apart and giving everything a really good clean. The original wrapping is starting to unravel, which is pretty typical on a bike that's almost 40 years old. This one actually isn't too bad. I'm going to be able to rewrap it without much trouble. I want to get all the grit and grime off before I get into it too far, so I'm using my spray bottle of Dawn dish soap mixed to just about where you would have it when you're doing your dishes. After it's dried out a bit, then I will rewrap the entire wiring loom with black electrical tape. This will ensure that the wires will remain protected and they will look nice when it goes back onto the bike. Now that the wiring harness is all clean and properly wrapped, I just need to give all the connections a quick going over. I have a collection of small files that have come in very handy just to touch up the larger ones. If possible, I can touch up the contact surfaces with a rolled up piece of sandpaper too. The finer connections are usually just too small to access, so I like to soak these in vinegar for about 20 minutes. Then I neutralize the acid in a baking soda solution before blowing them out with contact cleaner. While the connectors were soaking, I cleaned up all the other components. Everything should now be ready to go back into the bike. Okay, full disclosure. I have to wear this immobilizing sling because I had rotator cuff surgery 3 weeks ago. Recording the rest of this video was definitely challenging, but I think a bit of creative editing should make everything look pretty smooth. But still, you're going to see the sling in various shots, so I thought I'd better let you know. Okay, so I'm pretty satisfied that this harness is cleaned up and all the connections are good. What I've done is I've gone ahead and I've just mounted it into this sort of main bracket that holds all of the ignition stuff in place. It centralizes the whole harness so that you so that you get it in the right spot. You know, it's not too far forward, not too far back. There's actually a little pin right here. See that? That thing is just exactly for that, just for locating. And then all of these, you know, all of these connections hook into various little bits and pieces. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the bike now, and then I'll put all the components back on while the bracket is mounted. I think that's just a little bit easier, and I can probably get some better camera angles to show you how it all goes together. Okay, to help me reinstall this wiring harness, I've printed off the diagrams that are at the beginning of the service manual. They give a really detailed overview of where all of the cables and all of the hoses and everything runs, where they get tied off and all that kind of thing, so that you can put it all back together again, and it's in a reasonably organized fashion, and you know, it just looks better and it's easier to access if you ever have any issues. So I keep those as well as the wiring diagram handy when I'm going through this whole thing. The main ignition components are all mounted to that main bracket that I showed you earlier. The location of all the connectors plus the shape of the harness pretty much tells you where everything has to go, but still it's nice to have the diagram as a reference in case you're not sure.
All right, this spot under the seat here where the voltage regulators are is always just a little bit tricky because it's so tight. So what you want to do is the harness fits through this little slot right here, okay? Now you want to keep it that way as best you can, because here is where the lights and one of the regulators hooks into, okay? This one, the main kind of body that continues on, you want it to go along the front here, I guess the rear of the bike, along the air snorkel as best you can. And then you want to push it down through the frame towards where the battery is, okay? And there's a little clip right there to hold it. So that's what you're hoping for right there, okay? Something like that. And then this clip will actually fit right into that little spot in there, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Okay, let me give you a little tour of how this harness runs. So down here, you've got the 2 leads to the battery. You've got 2 leads that go to the blinker. And you've got a plug up here somewhere right there that goes to the rear brake. So the main cable runs up from the battery along through here, okay? Then it goes in like I showed you just a second ago. It runs in along the frame. There's a little clip to hold it right there, see it? And then the harness comes up. There's a big hook right there on the frame that kind of holds it in place. Runs along the side, through to where all the ignition stuff is, through that little clip and up to the front. But I'll get to the front in just a bit. Now the front part of the harness runs up and it goes underneath this lower triple tree here. And it's gonna get sandwiched between the front fender and underneath here, okay? And then it runs up and then there's the big multi-clip on it. It connects up here sort of underneath the speedometer, okay? Okay, when you install the horn, which is next, there's another little clip that goes on with it. And that just holds the wiring harness sort of to the side and keeps everything tidy as things go together. Okay, the next thing I want to do, I want to connect all of these big wide plates next. So this comes up, goes in like this and plugs into that white connection bar that's right up here beside the ignition in the front. And the last one is this green one. And it just folds up underneath like this. The reason I put it in last is it just seems less congested, and not that this is an easy process, but it's just easier if you do them in this order, I've found. And these things here are slotted so that they can only go in one way. You can't reverse them side to side. So that's nice. As far as I know, you can put them in any order this way, but the way that I've got them seems to lay the wires out a lot nicer and smoother, you know, underneath the headlight. It gets very congested under there in a real hurry, so it's best to get this straight now. All right, you might recall that I had trouble with the last switch, the switch that came with the bike, so I bought another one actually from Amazon, and it's an exact copy. The only thing was that the actual pinouts, the wiring, was a little bit different than what the bike needed. So I just had to swap a couple of them and now it works perfectly. So I think it was like 30 bucks. It was advertised to work on the XL600
And it does, but I just had to switch a couple wires because it wasn't making the right connections when it was open. All right, so I jumped ahead just a little bit here. I put in a brand new battery. I didn't charge it, but it read 12 point something, so it should be all right. I hooked up the wiring harness. The wiring harness, as it came to me, didn't have a fuse in it, and I don't really like that, so I bought one of these little, fuse junction things. I like the spade connector better than the little glass fuses. This came with a 20, which I think is too big. It should probably be a 15 if I remember right, maybe a 10. I'll get it right before I go too far, but for now, for testing, it'll be okay. What I want to do is just see what of the electrical stuff that I have hooked up will work. All right, so I just flipped off the lights and got my brand new key that goes in my brand new switch. What should happen is I'm going to turn this on and, yep, it's a neutral. When I turn it on, the neutral indicator should come on and the LEDs on the speedo should come on. I think that's it. Yeah, nothing else is hooked up. Okay, so let's give it a shot. Yeah, so there we go. So far, so good. Okay, the horn should work. Yep. Let's see what happens if I flip it in gear. That neutral light should go off. Yeah. And if I put it back in, right on. Awesome. So I think we will worry about the lights in another video. The actual units I have aren't in great shape. So I'll clean them up, make sure I've got good bulbs, and we'll get into it then. You know what? There is one more very important thing that I can test, and let's do that right now. Yeah, this is a pretty important one too. Hopefully, I got everything turned on. With a little bit of a kick, I should get some kind of a spark. Wouldn't that be awesome? Let's give it a shot. Yeah! Yeah! Cool. Okay, let's turn the engine kill switch off. No spark at all. Turn it back on. Spark. Let's turn the ignition off. Still getting a spark. Oh, I haven't got the coil grounded in. That's why. That's why. Yeah, I just got to hook up the wires for the coil. Okay, I've got those plugged back in. There was just one little plug I had to get in there. And got it. So there you go, nothing. Awesome. Everything's working properly.
And that's going to do it for this video. I am super happy with how everything went. Thank you very much for watching. There's still a few more episodes to come, so please subscribe if you haven't already.